something to be said for things that are new. The power of the unknown insisting itself into our world. For the things we desire, change comes too slow. But for the things that are thrust upon us, it seems change comes too fast. Mankind has always feared change and at the same time embraced this divine intricacy. But we are people, flesh and blood. We think, therefore we are. This has always been the way since the beginning of time. With that being said, something new is on the horizon. A technology never seen before, knocking at our door. Artificial by design, described as a supermind, that cognitive algorithm that seems to be taking over. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it something we should fear? Is it already here? Is it watching me right now? Has it infiltrated my mind? Am I still just one of a kind? Am I AI? Follow me down the rabbit hole in search of the truth, in which we may find a world of new opportunities. We have so many questions about this digital ghost. Will it take all our jobs? Will we lose all control? Will it end all wars or start one that is new? Is it coming for me? Is it coming for you? Am I AI? When I trip and fall, is that some kind of glitch? When I'm dancing to the music, is it a simulation of a trip? The world is moving fast, no signs of slowing down. But we'll always have the music and our feet on solid ground. But the question still remains, somewhere in the back of my mind, am I me? Am I free? Am I AI?
Let's go down the rabbit hole once again. This was your year 2023.
2023. Isn't this pretty? This is Armin van Buuren, A State of Trance. 2023. How's it going, y'all? I thought that'd be a cool way to start MIAI. But you know, it's like now everybody's talking about AI. You know, a year ago, yeah, but like everybody's forgetting about quantum computing. You know, and if you pay attention to some of my work with electron entanglement, when I talk about that, it has to do with that. And electronic entanglement means that an electron could be at so-called one side of the universe, another electron could be at the other side of the universe, and they could teleport and transfer energy. So you think about that, and you think about, well, eventually we can open up wormholes through this entanglement. Again, it's called electron entanglement. All right, you can look it up. Cool stuff. Like AI is cool, but quantum computing. Once we are able to actually have quantum computing in personal computers, you know, it's going to be on. Like talking out to the new Clipper that's going out to Titan, you know, it's amazing. They're going to drop a sub underneath the ice, you know. But anyway, communication in space will speed up very quickly, you know. You know, it takes a long time for them to contact the Voyagers, you know, the two Voyager spacecrafts. It takes a long time to send the signal and get it back, you know, and somehow they're able to keep those going, you know. But anyway, that future is going to be awesome. So AI is great, and AI and I are connected. But like, don't forget quantum computing. I mean, like I said, imagine if I had AI and quantum computing directly hooked up to my brain, you know? And then that dream technology to where I can actually make it not pre-recorded things, but actually real life showing up in people's dreams, you know? And not lucid dreaming, just me popping up, you know, in your dreams, you know? Anyway. Okay, now, what I'm going to do, you know, I started doing the kids thing, and I read them. Well, what I'm going to do is I'll always post these verses on the next day, within the next day's lesson, all right? So you can listen to what I say and then actually read the verses for yourself and think about them, all right? You might say, well, why don't you just remove the kids stuff, you know? And I can't do that because it's the principle of it, you know? It's the symbolic meaning of keeping the children hidden, you know, so nobody sees them. No, I'm just kidding. Well, in a way, yeah, but like, you know, Plato had this idea, and it was really sketchy. That's why they didn't like when he wrote the Republic. But as far as retarded children, like, he had this theory to, like, keep them all in one place where they're not out in public, you know, stuff like that. Retarded people. I would be for, like maybe making them some kind of house, kind of like the X-Men had, you know, their school, you know, that kind of stuff. Having something like that, like, really deluxe. Not them just having to stay in, like, you know, a mental institution or something that accommodates people who are retarded, you know, but make it something cool, you know, where they can feel like they're in a movie, you know, that kind of stuff. And make sure that, like, open their minds as much as possible, because you never know, you know. Maybe they could even get through the retardedism. You know, some people are profoundly retarded, and they're never going to change, but at least we can make their lives a lot better than just, like, it's like sitting in a hospital bed, you know, living in a hospital bed. And, of course, they got their creature comforts in there, but anyway, so, you know, Plato's retarded idea aside, you know, he does have good ideas. So anyway, don't let that distract you from Socrates. You know, that was Plato's idea, not Socrates. Okay, now, the Tao scripture for today. That might be too loud. Okay, that's good. All right. So the Tao scripture for today. It talks about, it's interesting. Kingdoms can only be won if rules are kept. Battles can only be won if rules are broken. All right? You think about that, you know. If you want a kingdom, you got to stick to the rules. You might win a battle, but you're not going to win the kingdom if you're breaking rules all the time. All right? And it talks here about how there's too many laws, you know. Too many laws makes too many criminals, you know. I've always said, like, take nonviolent drug offenders out of jail, you know. Save that room for people who really need to be there. Because even though I'm from Texas, I'm not about the death penalty, you know. Even the Tao is not about the death penalty. You know, it's like people fear death, you know, and, like, that's not the way to be, you know. Make them sit in jail forever. You know, that's the better way to do it. And we'd have plenty of room if we got rid of the people that don't really need to be there. But that's just one instance. But the thing about Dream Overworld, whether Empire or Kingdom, there's a lot less laws. Being universal, there doesn't have to be a lot of details. Like, there are universal laws that no humans can change. You know, I won't change them either, you know. And then below those rules, you know, those rules are kind of like structure that holds a building up, right? And then the democracy part of it is within those rules, whether it be empire rules or kingdom rules. And the Native Americans are pretty much going to be able to decide on their own whatever they want to do. You know, it's their land. They can do what they want, you know, that kind of thing. I would like them to conferred to the kingdom rules, but if they want gambling, that's their right, you know. There won't be any gambling in the kingdom. You know, that's the whole West Coast. The empire is the whole East Coast, all right? And then I'm picking different states for different things, you know, like some of those farmland places, I'll just make strictly for food, you know. Genetic research, too, you know, making big fruits and big animals, you know, and like, yeah, like doing it, you know. People always get sketchy about things when they first, like, are available. You know, no GMOs. And I'm like, you're missing out. You're missing out. GMOs is what's going to feed Africa. You know, it's like anywhere there's hunger, like throughout the Middle East, you know, all these orphanages that need food and support and clean water. Of course, I have the desalinization plants, you know, planned all around the world, everywhere on the coast, to where we can get fresh water to the interiors of all countries. All right? And of course, that counteracts the ice caps melting. All right? As the oceans rise, we need something to take that water out as they rise, you know, So anyway, less rules the better. And it talks about the sage being, as long as I do nothing, the people will themselves be transformed, right? As long as I love quietude, the people will be of themselves straight. So long as I act by inactivity, the people will of themselves become prosperous. So long as I have no wants, the people will of themselves return to the state of the uncarved block. And that's like formlessness, right? And so this isn't saying me being laid back and being a pussy about things. No, I still stand up for my rights. But by inactivity, me not tampering with things, you know, by doing nothing, you know, that's not me being lazy. That's me focusing on my work, you know, and loving quietude. Y'all all know about that, you know. People will naturally conform, you know, and that's what I do. That's how I'm transforming the world from within. You understand? With the kingdom and then the empire, you know, the Native Americans, you know, they'll have their 4 states, you know, in the middle, you know, so, and then Texas, that's where I will have my castle, and that's where the new capital will be. The new national capital will be in Texas. All right, so the whole thing to remember is like, and you'll read it, you know, as you read it, remember what I'm saying, you know, if you can, what you should, you know, watch this video when you get to the core of it. You should start understanding what the core is, all right? Okay, so, and then the Quran verse is really easy, you know. Prophet, this is the path of your Lord made perfectly straight. We have explained our revelations to those who take heed. They shall have the home of peace with their Lord, and he will take care of them as a reward for their deeds. I know this is tough, right? Because I don't have my glasses on. Hold on a second. Yeah, bifocals, you know. I guess you can see me. It's just the anti-glare stuff. You see space in the background. Do you see what I see? Since a kid, I've always wanted to go into space, you know, the final frontier, you know. And I will. You know, we're going to live forever, so get ready. So, and we won't even need spaceships after all. We can teleport, you know, like electron entanglement. You know, eventually we can hook our bodies, our new robotic bodies up and, you know, teleport anywhere we want in the universe. I know, right? But if we want the scenic route, we can take a spaceship, you know. Go Mach 10, you know. Pull it next to Voyager, like one of the Voyagers, and take a picture and make a video, you know. Hey, check it out, check it out. Okay, so, yeah, as far as the Quran verse, it's all about being perfectly straight. But like and this doesn't mean straight or gay. This means straight edge, but doesn't mean anti-drug. Okay, and so what the Tao also says is, if you leave the path, for instance, if you miss a day or two, come back to the path. It even makes you stronger. All right. Okay, so, and that's what it says, is they shall have the home of peace with their Lord. Those who obey my Lord, those who obey me will be there to where I am, I just ate some popcorn. So anyway, yeah, like live the rules, and you can be out there in space, or the kingdom will always be here. I will never let the moon be split up, just like the Native Americans say. There is something called helium-3 on the moon, which is an ultimate power source. I learned about it back in the zeros, the 2000s. But they covered it up. The government's covered it up because all of these know it's kind of like a gold rush once we all get to the moon. But there will be no countries on the moon. I will not allow that. Musk can do whatever he wants, but I'm going to be like light years ahead of him eventually, Anyway, so that's heaven, right? That's heaven. I know I said my Lord. There is a verse from the Tao that says, my deeds have a Lord, right? But that Lord is myself. I've explained to you. My higher self is me, right? I mean, my higher self is the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. My lower self is my body, right? And that's the same with all of you, with your spirits. Your spirits are your higher self, and your body is your lower self. Your body, as they say, is just a container, Clay jars, Jars of Clay. Good band. Check them out if you don't know who they are. Okay, so, yeah, that's all about it, all about doing deeds. And all of the good deeds you do, you will be rewarded. Remember, I'm going to be able to have these things that are way better than lie detectors. They'll be able to read every memory you've ever had, even the ones that are locked away. So everybody will be accountable for what they do, all right? The way that everybody is present at the end and the final judgment is reincarnation. The spirits reincarnate. So all of these spirits of all of these people throughout history are going to be there. Everyone will be present in that way. Okay, so the Psalm one is a really good one, Israel. It's about how awesome Jerusalem was back in the day. I mean, way back. This is back in King David's day. King David wrote most of the Psalms, and then Solomon wrote the Proverbs, most of the Proverbs. All right. So, and it talks about how great Jerusalem is. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem, And people kind of get that twisted because they don't know that Palestine shares Jerusalem with Israel. All right, that's where their temple is. I mean, their mosque. Where they go, and the whole thing. I mean, it's really easy. There's no negotiation if I go to the Middle East with Israel and Palestine. I'm just like, we're going to cut it right down the middle. One on one side, there won't be a wall in between. Walls are stupid. We've learned that with Germany. We're learning that with the wall between the U.S. and Mexico. Walls aren't effective. So anyway, so that's what it is. Like right through Jerusalem, if I have to. It's like, because they're all split up, and then of course Palestine will have safe passage to Egypt. Because I know that's important for business or whatever, So that's basically what it is. This is not a negotiation. This is me I'm getting them both in a room, the leaders of both, I'm telling Netanyahu how stupid he is, in his face to where he can see my eyes, and y'all know my eyes. It's basically just going to be split down the middle, eminent domain, to where everybody moves around. Nobody likes it, but that's what we're going to do in the States too, and in other countries if we have to. So that's basically what it is, I am here to make peace, and if you really want peace within Jerusalem, you're going to have to listen to me and do what I say, because let's face it, thousands and thousands of wars hasn't done shit for the Middle East, All it's come to is being invaded, It's just like, it doesn't work. The United States runs out of resources, then they got to go bully other countries and take other people's resources, So, the very resources in the United States that belong to the Native Americans, It's just like, okay, so, yeah, I was doing this from the side. That's right. Okay, cool. Because I know this effect, with the red and then these eyes, right? It's the document that makes them shine like that, So, okay, so like I said, these verses you will see in tomorrow's lesson. All right. The wicked man flees, though no one pursues, but the righteous are as bold as the lion. I mean, think about it. These cowards, the United States, they act all big and bold, but they run away from me. It's like, and it is pretty awesome to have that kind of power. It's like, but I'm the only one that can have absolute power because I don't want the power. It's my duty, like Plato said. You got it right there. So yeah, the righteous are as bold as the lion. That's what I'm talking about. Being humble doesn't mean that you're a pussy. It doesn't mean you're a pushover. It means you stand up for what you believe in. And if you have faith, you have the clear head, you have everything you need, you have your rules, your unconditional rules. Being perfect is a lot easier than, they say no one's perfect, but the way that I combine all of this stuff, science, arts, religion, everything, it's very easy to be perfect. You just have to practice. It took me a while, but I went through a persecution, but I'm doing all this I cleared the road, it's an awesome road, totally clear. I trailblazed it. I paved it, it's good to go, So it'll be easier for you to become perfect if you haven't already. The second one, and we've covered this before. This is, like I said, this is one of the ways I dominate. This is Confucius. Success depends on previous preparation, and without such preparation, there can be no failure. All right. I mean, that's why my enemies always lose. They get caught up in the moment, and they don't prepare. They don't plan. They don't think about the future. They don't think about the present. They don't learn from history, just like most humans. Well, I'm here to change all that. It's time to learn from history, all right? It's very important. Like, you have to know everything. And I know that sounds like, well, you can't know everything, but eventually your brains will be just like mine. It's like they'll have AI attached to it and quantum computing attached to it, We'll be in different forms. We won't even have these bodies. We'll leave these carbon-based bodies behind and transfer into silicone-based bodies. All right? These were the aliens that I met, the angel aliens. They were in this form. All right? And this means that with nanotechnological bodies, we can switch into anything. All right? We can transform, like formless, We can change into anything. Okay, so, yeah, without preparation, there's sure to be failure. If you don't prepare, you have got to take time out, like to prepare and to plan. All right? It's like you have to make that part of your whatever it is you do, whatever it is you do, make your shit awesome, that's what I'm saying. So plan for preparation and, plan for planning, schedule it out. I do every series every year I schedule out the series, so anyway, and I always think about the year ahead of time. Like, now's a good time to think about the new year, New Year's resolutions, well, why not practice them right now so, you can have a bunch of fits and starts and shit and still get there. All right. The next one is Buddha. To the sage who sees what is good, I have come supplicating with one question. How is anyone to look upon the world and so not seen by the king of death? And then Buddha says, look upon the world as void. Like I tell you, it's not real. It's just an illusion. All right. But there is reality. What actually happens, happens. Everything is not subjective. All right. It's objective. So look upon the world as void. Being wakeful, having destroyed the view of oneself really existing, because the ego doesn't exist. All right. One may overcome death. The king of death will not see a person who thus regards the world. It's all an illusion. And people cast illusions. Governments cast illusions. People make coincidences. Like the whole thing about this is once you understand the flow of nature, and nature is everything, not just out in the woods, Nature is everywhere. And once you see this, you see how people are just faking it. They're just pretending, and you see through people easy. Because none of it's real. The only thing real is what I preach to you. All right? That's how you see the true reality, seeing through the Dreamweaver lens. And so you don't exist. It's all an illusion. Be awake. Don't fall asleep. Don't let the illusion lull you to sleep. All right? All right. Yeah, good one there. Definitely. And then Jesus. All right. This is a good one. All right. I tell you the truth. They're all good, but you know what I'm saying. It's all good. Anyway, I'll just leave it at that. I was going to say it's all good in the hood, but it lacks still. But anyway, we'll work on it. We'll work on piecing. That way you get security from me. You don't even need the cops if you're peaceful. They appreciate it, though. Anyway, I tell you the truth. Everyone who sins is a slave to sin. Now, a slave has no permanent place in the family, but a son belongs to it forever. So if the Son, capital S, because remember, Jesus is only the Son of God in the sense that we're all, that you are all my children, all right? Like Jesus was the first soul ever created, that kind of thing. He's the firstborn, all right? But I would never have a son from my spirit, that kind of thing. Like that would be a house dividing itself, And so that Jesus is the Son of God, but at the same time, he's not the Son of God, okay? Because there is no Son of God. But there is, you could say, within the soul or biologically, which Jesus is both. I say Jesus will be both. Jesus was both, And so you understand what I'm saying about time travel, because if we can teleport, that means we can time travel instantly. Anywhere. We can go anytime, anywhere, So, yeah. So when the Son sets you free, you are free indeed. I know you are Abraham's descendants. Israel, listen again. Because he's talking to you, and you need to get over your whole Jesus hate, Anyway, come on. You don't act like chosen people. Anyway, I know you are Abraham's descendants, and I can say this about the people, the government and everything. They wanted to kill me. Even the person that used to be my best friend, that was so-called my friend, he wanted me dead when he found out that he couldn't have me. It's like, it's so sick. Maybe I'll have a separate video of that whole thing so I can explain it in real time to you. Well, in video time. You're ready to kill me because you have no room for my word. I am telling you what I have seen in the Father's presence. All right? That means I go back and visit Jesus and instruct him. From infancy, he talks. There's a place in the Quran about that, and there's a place in the lost books about that, but amazingly, it didn't get in the Bible. Research that. In the Council of Nicaea. Check that out. All right. So, you're ready to kill me because you have no room for my word. I am telling you what I have seen in my Father's presence, and you have done what you have heard from your Father. See, when you listen to human fathers, you're going to get it twisted. But if you listen to me, you won't be a slave. All right? Those who listen to their fathers become slaves and build my pyramids and build my structures, build my castles, build my, well, not my space stations, but maybe, I mean, those who are, and that's the whole thing about the empire is like, the whole idea about the empire is to give people kind of like an idea of how awesome the empire government is and sees how awesome the kingdom is. So that gives them a chance to change, all right, before they have to go to hell. Because all the people in the empire, if they stay in the empire, they're going to hell, all right? The whole hell path thing. It'll be different, though, if you're in the empire. The people who have gone against me already, there's no empire for them. They won't see any of Dreamweaver World. They're going straight into it, like it is. I brought hell on earth down. It's hell prison, That means you could be taken anytime. You could be punished anytime until it's time for Antarctica. So you need to listen to me above your parents. It's like the Quran says, you're commanded to do what your parents tell you to do. But if they tell you to do something other than what I command, don't listen to them. Don't do it. Leave if you have to, if you can. Get away from them because they're just going to bring you down. I know that's very, very controversial, but I don't care. The whole thing about me telling the truth is, I'm not worried about stepping on toes. I'm not worried about pissing people off. I'm not worried about people coming after me. I don't care. Whatever I have to go through, I have to go through, but I'm still going to speak the truth. And the only truth, all the truth. And I'll tell you about all the falsehoods too, and all the illusions, until you become so awesome that you can do it on your own. You don't have to study, even though you should. You will, You have those rules set in your mind unconditionally. Like, I will not do that. I will not do that. I will not do that. And with Buddha's teaching as well, you get that unconditional feeling to where everything's an illusion anyway. So live your life. Yeah, like Einstein says, yes, reality is an illusion, albeit a very painful one. So you're going to feel pain. Like, think about virtual reality on Star Trek. They had the holodecks, right? Like, they could set it to on kill if they wanted to. That was very real things. And eventually virtual reality will be that. And eventually hell will be a virtual reality program that I lock souls in, that I lock spirits into. All right? The souls all come back to me. All right. That's good. We went over 30 minutes because I wanted you to hear that, am I AI? Just remember that, yeah, AI is cool and everything, but you need to focus on quantum computing. When they have that new 6G, they're going to be able to support holograms. So if they have even quantum computing hooked up to that, they're going to be awesome holograms, not even Star Wars holograms. It's like, they're going to be way better than that, where they don't glitch out, but like the future is headed in the right direction now that I'm here. President George W. Bush messed up everything, I even called him out. You read the letter. Some of you did. I'll post it again, And that was before I even went back to school, It's like, I had it going on way before, But this is my life's work. Everything is added up to this. Even during my loser stages in my 20s, I was still doing all those drugs, learning how, how to be addicted and how not to be addicted, I even tried to kill myself once, It's like, and that's a whole nother story I might tell, Like, there's a whole bunch of stories to tell, but I got a second chance. But it wasn't easy. Like, I came back, woke up, and, like, I'm still alive, and, like, I've always had these visions of things. beings carrying me around and stuff, like in like some kind of like not a trash bag, but like something that you can carry bodies in, you know? And these same beings, this was back in my 20s, right? So I know that I've always been overwatched. You know, people have been watching, not people, but, well, alien people, you know? I've always been watched over. I was willing to give it up. That might have been a part of it from my future self. Steve Stevens willing to give it up, you know? Okay, I'm going to stop there. We're at, going on 36 minutes right now, so make time for this. You know, I love you. I do. And women I love, I'm in love with you, and don't doubt it. You know, my telepathy, I can read it. When I watch you live, I can tell with your body language. You know, it's like, I can tell, it's not your energy or anything like that. It's just mainly body language and telepathy. All right. All right, that does it for now. We are at 36. Peace, people. Peace. Israel, stop it. Stop your tampering. You know, like the Tao says, anything that is tampered with under heaven, you will not succeed. So stop it. Everybody else is being steadfast, and here you are. You know, you want to know Texas, just wait till I get there. We can have a shootout of a different kind. Metaphorical. Peace.